Okay, so great golf swing. I think what happens is, I agree, it gets a little laid off, sort of P3-ish, and then there's some things that I saw on that one swing you sent where, you know, the pelvis kind of comes up and out of it a little bit early. So in terms of what should happen from position 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, so the entire backswing, I want this shaft to trace this, if this is the ball line, so this would be where the golf ball is, or baseline, I want this shaft to trace this yellow line to here, and then as I take the club back, I'm continuing to turn, so I'm pushing this back, I'm moving my stomach back, my ribs back, and then as I'm doing that, I'm planing the club, the butt of this club is going to point at this yellow line. So trace the line, then I'm tracing the line. But I think what happens with you is, if the wrists get sort of loose and sloppy, then it's easier for this to kind of get laid off. Because what happens is, with loose wrists, I don't have leverage, and gravity's kind of pulling on the club this way, so it's a little bit laid off in this direction. So one thing that I feel, and this is something that Gary Player talked about, was the feeling of getting underneath the golf club at the top of the backswing. So he said he wanted to be underneath it so that he had leverage and knew where it was. So I'm getting under the club. So as I take it back from here, from this point forward, I'm simply getting under the club so that I know where it is. Then from there I can control where I'm firing it to. So what I'd like you to do is maybe give some attention to cleaning up the takeaway a little bit, but get to where you have this sensation of, if I'm gonna get under the club, or notice how my wrists are loading here, I'm pushing underneath. So as I push my arms away, I'm getting under the club, there. If you can get under the club, you'll have stability, and then with stability and leverage, it won't be loose and sloppy and get laid off. It'll be kind of firm, kind of Jason Day, kind of Justin Thomas, kind of firm up here, but I know where it is. It's directly to the right slightly, but between my arms, because I want this club to always remain in between my arms. Not directly in the middle of my arms, slightly to the right, but I always want it in between my arms. The more it gets outside my arms, the more I've got to do things to manipulate it. So let's start with that. Let's start with, you know, just feeling like you can get under the club, firm up your wrists a little bit, and just feel like, okay, do I have it stable, and do I know where it is? So I need just enough grip pressure to have stability, but not so tight that I don't have range of motion. So I hope this helps, and thanks again.